These are the notes that I've built for my data with their courses. You can see the graph where you can track different topics such as Apache Spark to Python to SQL to data warehouse. This is my personal obsidian where I try to keep the different parts of my life organized. We will talk about everything in this video. It's been around 10 years in the tech industry and I have learned so many different things. With this, I have also tried different note taking approaches while I was trying to learn the code. I have tried handwritten notes, I have tried Microsoft Word document, different note taking apps like Notion, Obsidian. I also used to take the screenshots of PPTs shown in the videos so that I could remember all of these for the longer period of time. It used to go like this. When I was watching a video, I used to take handwritten notes. So I was so busy in writing about the what is being taught in the video, I used to miss out on a lot of information. So while taking the notes, I used to just focus on taking the notes and not pay attention what is being taught in the video. Handwritten notes help you to remember the information for the longer period of time. I also tried taking the digital notes where I used to directly write everything that is being shown in the video or copy paste some of the transcript information just to create my own notes. The advantage of taking the digital notes is that you can preserve them forever, and whenever you need the access to all of this information, you can easily go and track it. We will discuss everything in this video from start to end, how I started taking my notes and what I do now. We will talk about some of the applications such as Notions and Obsidian. So I just want to say that I'm not sponsored by all of these applications, and these are the applications that I've used in my personal life. So I will share my experience. And one more thing before we start the video is that if you are interested in learning or becoming a data engineer, then you should definitely check out my courses. You will also find the discount code in the description. So I will highly urge you to at least check it out. Let's start with the video. So it is important for you to understand the concept of second brain. Why taking notes and storing all of this information is so important. We live in the age of information overload. Every time you go out or online or anywhere, you are attacked by the information. Right now you are consuming this video, but on the side you will have like suggested video added to you. The same way if you go online or go on Instagram, you will have infinite reels or the content to consume. The same thing happens when you're trying to learn anything new. You read blogs, you watch videos, you read books. All of these things are attacking you with so much information. Here's what happens. If you find a good video or a blog or a quote that you read, most of you will store all of this information inside your brain. You will tell yourself that, okay, I don't want to read this right now. I will just remember this in my brain, and when I find the right time, I will watch this video or read this blog. The chances are 99% of you will forget this, and this happens to most of us, right? If this happened to you, then let me know in the comments. You think that I will remember this particular thing afterwards, but most likely you will forget about this thing by the next 5 minutes or next hour. You don't even remember all of this. The reason this particular thing happens is because your brain is used to process the information. Your brain is not designed to store all of this information. Your brain is really good with the creative work, the thinking pattern. When you want to process some information, it can easily do this. But when you tell your brain that, okay, I want to store this information for let's say next 5 years, you have to train it certain way. And your brain is not optimized for storing information. So when you try to store a lot of information inside your brain, you are likely to feel overwhelmed or exhausted because you are storing so many different things. This is where the concept of second brain comes into the picture. The goal here is to delegate the work of storing information to the technology so that you can focus on the thinking and the creative aspect of your life. You can store all of this information forever. Whenever you need to access this information, you can just go online, search about it, and you will find it there and there. You don't have to remember all of these things. Everything is stored digitally, so whenever you need it, you can go find it, do the work, and get it done. Let's say you go on a Twitter or X, you find a very good tweet. You can also bookmark it there, but there are chances that you will overload your bookmark. So what you can do, you can just copy the link of that tweet or the text from that tweet and put it on your note-taking application. And whenever you think that, okay, I read this tweet somewhere, you can directly go to your note-taking app and access it then and there. You don't have to go to the Twitter bookmark or the Medium bookmark, scroll down and find the right information. All you have to do is just go to your note-taking application and you can find all of this information. This is the power of building a second brain. And we will talk about all of these things in the video, so don't worry about it. When I started my coding career, I never took notes. When I had to revisit the same topic, I had to go on Google, find that specific link that I found earlier and try to solve the problem. This happened a lot of times when I was coding. I found some issues, I wanted to solve this error. I'll go on Google, I'll find a link, I'll find a solution. But I will not bookmark it or I will not store that. What I will tell myself is that I remember this particular thing. I don't need to remember this right now because I fixed my error, so that I will close that. But in future, when I face the same issue or the same error, I will have to find the same link in the Google by searching the right keyword, I will try to remember, okay, this is what I searched last time, so I should find the same blog in this search also. But this used to take a lot of time. So instead of storing all of this information in my brain, if I just bookmark this particular thing or store the link of that particular blog in my note taking app, I could have saved a lot of time. Again, if you find this relatable, then let me know in the comments, because most of the people who code goes through the same journey. So I started taking notes while I was learning to code. When I was learning about data science and machine learning, and I was doing courses from Coursera, from Andrew NG Machine Learning, I was taking handwritten notes. Taking handwritten notes has its own advantages. When you write something, you remember and understand easily. And this is what I did. I filled around 2 to 3 books of machine learning and added everything that I learned. But the problem here is that you can't carry all of these books with you when you're traveling. Okay, you can't have access to all of this information if you're out of station, if you're going to office or some other place, and if you're working, and if you want to understand the same information, you won't have access to it. So I moved from taking handwritten notes to taking digital notes. So I started using the basic application like Evernote, Microsoft Word, Apple Notes, just to fill the basic information that I used to do on day-to-day work. Now, after trying these multiple applications, I had to find some good application that can help me to organize my notes. So there were 2 apps that caught my attention. One was Notion and second one was Obsidian. So I will talk about that right now. Okay, so I found the Notion just like this. I was watching one YouTuber, he was talking about Notion. If you don't know what Notion is, it is basically a free note-taking application, but it has like proper way to organize your notes. This is what I used for 1 to 2 years. I used to track all of my YouTube videos. I used to store the blog links and the extra learning resources that I wanted to track easily on my Notion documents. There is a learning curve required. You need to understand the basics about Notion because the tool might feel overwhelming at the start, but once you get the hang of it, if you just watch the 30 minutes of the tutorial, you will understand everything about Notion. It has a lot of templates available. You can also customize as per your need. So overall, Notion is very good if you want to start taking notes and store all of your information. But recently I moved from Notion to Obsidian, and I don't really have the reason for that. I was watching a video and people were talking about building a second brain. One of the guy was talking about using Obsidian, which is specially designed for building a second brain. So I like the concept. It is open source, so I thought, instead of using Notion, I can move to the Obsidian. There's no special reason about it. You can still go and use the Notion, but I like the concept of Obsidian and I will share it right now. One of the exciting features I liked about Obsidian is that you can create links between one document to the second document, just like you find it on the Wikipedia. When you want to go from the one page to the second page based on the relatable topics, you can easily do that. This is the core concept of Obsidian, is that you can create the links between different pages and easily track it with the interactive graph. In the backend, Obsidian is just storing all of this information in your PC as a markdown file. Consider markdown file as a text file only. So I use Obsidian for my coursework that you already saw, right? On my data engineering course website, I have 4 courses available: Python, SQL, data warehouse, and Apache Spark. All of these topics are interconnected with each other. Okay, there are so many overlaps of the topics such as data frame, basic data types. You can easily make connections between all of these topics together so that all of my learners can now easily find the information across the different courses, right? So if you want to understand about the basics of Apache Spark, but if you don't know about the basics of data frame, you can go to the Python data frame, understand the pandas data frame, and also come back and learn about the Spark data frame. So all of this information becomes so much easier to track, and you can access it from the anywhere because you can easily host it online. So you should always use whatever works for you. I always tell people, okay, at least try multiple application, and if you use, let's say, Apple Notes, or if you just use the simple Word document, and if that gets the work done, then it is fine. You should not run behind making your notes perfect. You should first get started and then think about how you can improve. So I still have some of my notes stored on Notion. I have a lot of my notes available on Obsidian. Depending on the work, I go and access them, but mainly these days I use Obsidian for my personal work and for my course work. So I will quickly show you how I got started with the Obsidian. I will give you the basic understanding about it so you can also start taking the notes and build your own second brain. So I will just quickly show you how I use Obsidian to take notes and the basics of it. Again, you can find detailed tutorial on Obsidian and how to use it. I'll show you the basics of it. How I use it might not be the optimal way, but this is what works for me, and you can also take inspiration and build your own note-taking system. Okay, so this is what my personal Obsidian looks like. Okay, I store all of this information about my content ideas. Okay, and the guitar song, so I'm learning guitar, so I also store the information about all of the songs that I've learned. These are my different learnings about the different topics such as tech topics such as Apache Spark, YouTube videos, I have some of it. I store also information about the data engineering learnings. It is just a basic text document, right? Just like this, I also have Obsidian for my course. Okay, these are like data with their courses, and as you can see, right, in this I have the 4 courses Apache Spark. If I go to Apache Spark, you will see the detailed documents available for all of these topics. Okay, you will find everything on the Apache Spark. Then the same goes with the data warehouse. I have like information about like data warehouse and how to build different parts of data warehouse. The same with the Python and the SQL. Now the thing about is that all of these topics are connected with each other, right? In the Python course you have the concept of data frame. The same is applied on the uh, Apache Spark. The same goes with, let's say, in Apache Spark you have the concept of tables, SQL queries. You can also track it on the data warehouse and also go on the SQL course. So there are a lot of information that are connected. So if I just show you the these connections, right, you have like Python for data engineering. These are the important topics. Hands-on topics are for this. For example, these are the hashtags with the Python. You will find the basics. So these are the basic topics. Can come from the Python. It can come from the Apache Spark. Can come from the Snowflake course. For the Spark, we have all of these topics available. For the SQL, we have all of these topics available. Again, on the SQL level, you might have the connection with the Apache Spark, all of this. So you can build all of this type of connection, and whenever you want, you can easily search it based on the hashtag. Such as I just do the hashtag Spark, and I will find all of the topics related to the Spark. If I want to find, let's say, Databricks, okay, data bricks, okay, I will find all of the topics related to the Databricks. I can also find like creating cluster. Okay, I just want to find how to create cluster on Spark. I will find like why do we need Spark. In this I will find the specific chapter on how to create a cluster on Spark. All of these keywords where the cluster is mentioned, I can easily track the information. This is a creating cluster topic, so I can just click onto this. I will be redirected to this. I will find how to create the Apache Spark cluster, and I will get the information about all of these things. So it becomes much more easier for you to track it. So this is the basic of Obsidian, and this is the power of Obsidian that you can do. You can build the graph. You can also have a lot of plugins. So I'll just show you how you can get started. So you can download the Obsidian from here. You can just do Obsidian and you will be directed to this website. It is available for multiple platforms. So I use Mac OS, but you can download it for the Android, Windows, Mac, Linux. Everything is available based on your operating system. You can just download the right files. And once you do this, you will have to create your own vault. So whenever you install Obsidian, you will see something like this. I have my 2 vaults available. Vaults are basically kind of like the parent folder, okay, where you can store all of your notes. So if I go here and if I go to my iCloud, you will see these are the actual files. Okay, these are the actual markdown files that can be stored. So if I just open my markdown file, and if I go over here and if I open this on, let's say, text document, this is a text document, right? So everything that you store will get stored onto the text document. So everything you build on Obsidian will be actually a text file, which is the .md file, markdown file, and it will get stored over here. So if I open this, okay, every folder that you create will get stored and create the folder in the actual repository of your file system. So it is kind of like the offline file system that you store for every wallet. Okay, so inside the Obsidian you will have like multiple folders. So this is my Darshil course notes, this is my data with their notes, and this is my personal file, right? These are the extra folder that I created. So this is just like a one single vault. You can create your vault, you can open any vault, or you can also sync it. You might have to pay for the syncing, but you can just create the new vault. After this, you just give the vault name. For now, I'll just give the YT tutorial. You can give the name of this vault as per your need. For me, it is like Darshil course notes. This is just a YT tutorial. Then here you can store the location, so you can find the right location where you want to store all of your notes, and click onto the create. Let me just pick the valid folder. I will go here, Obsidian. I'll open this and I'll create it. Okay, so this will create the new Obsidian vault for me. Now again, you will find the tutorials available here, and this is the graphical representation. I'll just close this. This is my welcome note. Let's say I want to create the basic folder. Now creation of the folder structure is up to you, how you want to create it. I'll just show you basics of it and how it works. So let's say I create the new folder and I want to learn about the data engineering. Okay, I create the data engineering. In the data engineering, I will have multiple topics such as let me just delete this. I will also delete the welcome file. Okay, so in data engineering, I have multiple things. So I'll create the new folder inside the data engineering called as, let's say, Apache Spark. Okay, then I'll create the new not I'll create one more folder such as Python, and like this you can create multiple folders. Now let's say I want to take notes about Python. So all you have to do is just click on the new notes, and there's a topic called as Python basics. So Python basics, you can also give number if you want, like 1. This is my first node, but up to you. If you don't want, you can do that, right? And here I will have like Python basics. So let's say if I'm learning from online, Python basics, something like this, I'll go to WC school and I'm learning about this part. Okay, I'll just put it over here. So these are my notes. Like, consider, okay, while you're taking the notes, you can write what you learned, but just for the understanding purpose, this is my Python notes. Now all of these are available. Then you might have like one more note available about, let's say, how to get started, right? So all I do is just copy paste this stuff for the learning purposes, and I put it here, get started with Python, something like this. Okay, then let's say there is a concept of Python data frame, Python data frame, like this. I have all of this information available. I just copy paste this for the showing purposes, and I just do Python df. Okay, and I paste it over here. Now you can also format the code, and I'll show you how you can do that. But let's say you have the basic nodes available. Now I also do the same on the Apache Spark. Okay, I create the right click on the Apache Spark folder, I create the new nodes, and I'll give the name as Spark data frame. There's one topic called as a Spark data frame. So Spark data frame, I'll just online, I'll find some good documentation, and I'll say I'll just copy this and put it over here. Okay, so I have like basic information. I have learned some of the things. I have created the nodes. Now if I go and if I click onto the open graph view, you will see every file that you create will have one node available for that. So I have the Python basics, Spark data frame. There is no connection because we haven't created the connection, but you understand that there is a single nodes available. Now let's say I want to create the similar topic connection. This is the core of the Obsidian, right? You have the folders, you have the nodes. Inside nodes you can create the connection between different topics. So in this, let's say I have some file available such as this is R in Python. Okay, so what I can do is for Python, okay, I want to give the data frame in Python. So for data frame in Python, I can just put double brackets like this. Okay, you can put the double brackets, is a syntax available, and just say Python df. Okay, I just put the database or Python df. Now any person who wants to understand about, let's say, relational database, so a data frame is a data organized into columns. It is conceptually equivalent to a table in relational database or the Python data frame. I click here, I want to understand what is Python data frame. I'm directly redirected to this page. Now if I go and open the graph view, you will see there is one connection created between these two documents. That means there is a connection where you can jump from one document to another document. You can easily also show more things if you want to show, such as I want to display the arrows so that you understand it is the connection is going from Spark data frame to the Python data frame. Like this you can create the multiple connection between documentation. It is pretty simple. All you have to do is just put to subscript, and you can just find all of this information available here. Okay, so this is the basics of connection, how you create the connection between different nodes. Now if I just show you with the basic documents, such as, let's say, if I create the new node, and this is a new folder, I'll just create a new node, add test, okay, test1, and I will create one more node as test2. Okay, I write something like this is test1, and I want to connect with, I do double bracket and I just paste the test2. Okay, now any person who comes here, I can directly click on to test2 and directly get redirected to the that page. So this is like the how you start building the second brain. It's like you find the similar connection between different topics, you just create the link between, and you can easily track it. So if I go to Wikipedia, right, Wikipedia, and available, open it here. Now on the Wikipedia, let's say if you go to any documents, like this is the document, here also you find all of these are the links that you can jump onto and try to understand what they mean. So I come on to this page. Let's say from this page I can go to this atom link. It's like they have connected the link between all of this documentation, and this is what you can do it on the Obsidian. Now just like this, you can also format your text. Let's say if you write hashtag, single hashtag, and say this is heading 1. If you write double hashtag, this is heading 2. Triple hashtag, this is heading 3. Like this, the more hashtag that you increase, okay, I increase 4, 5, so it will keep reducing the size of this document. Okay, wait, let me see. If I keep increasing the hashtag, it will keep decreasing the size, and you can also create like multiple headings like this, so you can easily track multiple information. If you want to store the code, you just have to write do this, which is like your escape character. If you want to store the code, you just have to add these 3 blocks, and just like, let's say if you want to write the Python code, write the Python, and let's say print hello world. Okay, and if I do this is the Python code. If I do SQL, it will automatically format based on the language that you provide. So SQL select star from table name, like this. Now if I change this to Python, the formatting will be based on the Python language. If I just do the Rust, if I do any other language like C++, all of these will automatically get converted as per the language that you provide, right? These are the basic. You can store the code, you can store the heading, and you can create the connection. It's a major thing that I use. One more thing that you can do is also add the hashtag like this. Okay, hashtag SQL, hashtag Python, or hashtag data frame, right? Data frame. If I do it here in my actual notes, such as this is let's say Python basics on data frame, or df, like this. And if I want to search them, I can easily do it by like say df. Okay, so I will be able to find that document. So like this, let's say if you find a tweet, if you find a blog, and if you want to store it, you can create the folder for, let's say, medium blogs, just like my Obsidian. If I show it here, okay, in my learnings I have like the books, all of the books that I've read, all of the AI related. So these are the AI related LLM models, these are the tools related to AI. So I try to store all this information onto documents. So whenever I need, such as let's say if I need the AI tools, right, I wanted to understand about the AI, and I search the AI tools. So everywhere the AI tools is mentioned, I can find it, and then I find, okay, in this node I have stored everything about the AI tools. I can come here, I can see, okay, I want to understand about this tool, I can go to the website and get understanding of it. So all of these are the basics of Obsidian. Again, pretty simple to understand, nothing complicated. You just need to build a habit to use these tools in your day-to-day life. So the difficult part is not the tool, the difficult part is adding this particular tool in your routine. Now you don't have to use the Obsidian, you can use the Notion, you can use the Apple Notes. I also use the Apple Notes for a lot of my work. So up to you, whatever you want to use. I just show you what worked for me, so you can take inspiration from this and build your own note-taking application. So this was all for this video. If you want to understand about the second brain, there is one good book available called as Building Second Brain by the Tiago Forte. You can also check out this book. It is available on Amazon. You can also read more about this concept. Again, not sponsored by all of this. This is what I have learned, so I'm just trying to share it with you. If you found this video insightful, then do let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Also check out my data engineering courses. These are one of the best data engineering courses you will find it in the market. I have put a lot of hard work building all of these courses. You will get the detailed documentation, all of these notes, the guided videos, hands-on practice, and amazing projects. You can find all of this information available on the website. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.